We're on. We're on.
Oh,
Yes. We had the best tech issues, hands down. I just love it. I love it for us. You don't have to say sorry. Honestly, this shit does not work half the time. When you want it to work, it doesn't work. So if the internet cuts out or something, we just jump back on. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not professional here, clearly. Hello.
roll with that.
Thanks for coming on. Well, I'm wearing Anna Rossi jewellery as per usual. So anyone watching this on YouTube, do you want to let people know what are these earrings? I love them. You probably don't even have them in stock and people are going to like hate you for not having them in stock.
No, I've got them. They are pendant hoops. And they come in gold or like a dark gunmetal color, kind of similar to the color that I put around my neck.
You rock the gunmetal. I feel like it's because you've got beautiful blonde hair and that olive skin, whereas I feel like I cheapen it.
I used to feel the same about me. I would not touch silver in the last 10 years, but I don't know. I've been really having fun with it. Yeah.
And my necklace, we're not matching. Hang on. Very similar. What am I wearing? I don't think you've got this anymore. Do you?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that's the flat T-bar chain.
Love it. I love this.
Thank you.
What have you got on?
I've got on the lock it up chain in gunmetal, which also comes in gold as well, and a matching bracelet.
I feel like you're selling this gunmetal necklace to me. I need to buy it. All right, Anna, do you want to let people know who you are, what you do, and yeah, just a little bit about you?
Okay. Who am I? I'm Anna Rossi. I'm from Melbourne. Grew up here. My background is obviously Italian with a name like Rossi. Mm-hmm. I have my own jewellery business. I work from home. I love what I do. It's still so beautiful to have, great interactions with people and, just something to brighten their day. Like I get so many DMs of people just like not okay. Interesting, but yeah, it's nice to still be able to kind of, fill people's cup a bit, and yeah, it's good.
No, I love that. What did you do before you did the jewellery business? Because were you corporate?
No, God, I'd be fired instantly. No, my last job was at Mecca. So I managed which was incredible training, like great company. And then before that, I was in the fashion industry for 20 years. My last gig was Scanlan Theodore. Again, great training.
Like working in the actual retail stores or in head off, in the retail? Yep.
I managed most of their Melbourne stores, which was great.
I love that brand. They just,
I know.
Stuff is just timeless, on trend, but timeless and gorgeous, great quality. I just need to lose about 15 kilos to really know all this stuff.
Sizing was a thing, but yeah, what they do is amazing. And I remember being a little girl and kind of like looking at the shop windows, just being like, oh my God. And I still feel the same. Like if you buy the right pieces in there, like you're set. You just don't need to shop. You just get those good to go.
Yeah, I know. I reached out to you and I was like, would you like to come on the podcast? You're like, what? Why? But you know what? I really love chatting with people that I actually chat in my DMs with, because I feel like we're friends, and my husband's always like, who the fuck are these people?
Random.
I'm like, my friend Anna from Melbourne. He's like, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. But I just love it because I feel like we get along, we get along online. We have a good laugh. And I thought it's just so nice and comfortable, and we can jump on. We always talk about food, where to go, what to eat. We actually usually bitch about how bad our food experiences are. I think that's what you and I do, and do really, really well. And I thought, fuck it, she's from Melbourne, food capital. I'm going to get her on. And just before the show, I was like, I actually need to give her a heads up that I want to ask her about places to go to in Melbourne, because every time someone asks me, where should we go? I'm like, I don't know. You can't put me on the spot. So I thought, like, Melbourne can probably do no wrong with food. I feel like if you go to a servo, and if anyone's an international listener, servo means service station where you get petrol. You could even get a good coffee from there. Like, it is epic. But the food, I don't know. Have you felt like it gets better, or do you feel like, because I think with Sydney since COVID, and I know it's so hard with staff and all that, but I feel like a lot of places have really gone downhill.
Yeah, look, I think, I mean, in Victoria, certainly, because we were basically locked down for 2 years, so many people pissed off, went back overseas, went home. There's no staff. Chefs are getting paid like premium wages because there's no one to work. There's no kitchen hands. I assume it's probably the same in New South Wales. The cost of food is just crazy. I got a takeaway. It sounds so organic, but I got a takeaway focaccia from an incredibly beautiful place on the weekend. $22 for a takeaway sandwich. We also got a takeaway lamington from another place. Gorgeous, amazing ingredients, beautifully made, stunning, but like $10 for a takeaway lamington. Like, it's, you know, that was the option to go out and have a cheaper, like, we were like, we won't go out for breakfast, let's not waste money, we'll just grab some takeaway bits. And I'm like, whoa. So yeah, I feel like the quality, I guess the places has gone down because of these factors. They can't get the right staff, and cost of everything is so expensive.
Oh no, it's such a joke. That's what I was even saying. And I think, you know, because if you can cook, it's also, you know, a bit, not that I don't go out trying to pick at stuff, but I just think, like, sometimes when I'm eating something, I'm like, this has no salt, like, at all. It's not even seasoned. I'm like, how? And like $38 for a pasta sometimes. I'm like, that's just not. Except
Risotto, saffron. Oh yeah, okay.
I know, it's just like fucking Play-Doh or something. But where is your, like, favorite place to go to in Melbourne? So I'm coming to Melbourne. Let's just say I'm coming, which I'm going to. Where would you be like, Marilyn? You have to have. Let's start with brunch. Let's start with brunch spots.
Okay, so for brunch, brunch would be my least favorite meal, but I would say if you haven't been to Hectors for a takeaway toasty.
I've saved that. I was actually going to ask you, does it live up to its, yeah.
I think certain sandwiches that they do their pastrami, which is not my thing, but their pastrami toasties, I couldn't fault it. Like, everything was
like
so
a Ruben? Is that like a Ruben, but they do their own twist on it? Yeah.
But everything, like the crunch was perfect, the mustard was perfect, it was stunning. That would be probably where I could go for brunch, or even Terra Twilight in Fitzroy's quite fun, or Florian in Carlton is gorgeous. They have a slightly Scandinavian twist on their breakfast.
What's a Scandi twist to food? I mean, I know their homes and furniture. I didn't know what's their food like.
Well, I think that one thing that the Scandinavians do, I think, is they do everything well. They really do. It's such a polished country. Everything they do is well done. But they do like almost like a ploughman's lunch breakfast.
I love that.
Yeah, it takes a lot to inspire me to go out for eggs of any description, and I love eggs. But they do everything's a little bit left of centre without being try hard.
My girlfriend recently went to Melbourne, and she said that she noticed, and again, this was more like city Melbourne. She's like, and again, probably to go out as a foodie, brunch and breakfast is the least. I just feel like they either do well or they don't, or they fuck the eggs up, they overcook them. Yeah, like, anyway, but she said that she found like a lot of the menus, like, it's pretty much the same sort of things on the menu, if that makes sense. Like your blue swimmer crab, something like, it's just it's like bougie, but not like, it's just the same. I don't know.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think it's a bit, I don't know.
Yeah. There's a couple of something else that I think we've got that's quite good in Melbourne. We have a couple of really beautiful Japanese breakfast places.
Okonomiyaki, like or something. They do that. Do they do that more for breakfast? I heard that they do that. Yeah.
You can even go and get like, I don't know, they almost do like a bento box kind of breakfast thing, which is really fun, or like a Japanese kind of porridge. I know it's a little bit more inspiring than,
Yeah, especially if it's kind of tipping over more to that lunchtime where you don't really feel like eggs, or you like your poached eggs with hollandaise sauce and all that kind of stuff. But you want, I know what you mean. Where is there any that you can like recommend?
Well, I would say Florian and Twilight both do like, you can get pancakes and waffles, but they're a little bit quirky, but they get it right.
I can't eat the sweet breakfast. Can you? Like when my friend's like, oh, I feel like pancakes. I'm like, no, I'm not 12. I just don't.
No, I don't know. Breakfast is pretty low on my agenda.
That's like even when I try to be like, okay, people are like, how can I make breakfast in advance? I'm like, obviously, like you could do your overnight soaked oats. I just don't wake up going, I want oats. I want something sweet. I'm just...
No.
Are you seeing that Wheat Bix trend, the soaked Wheat Bix trend?
Not in the loop, my friend, with that.
Well, let me tell you, they must soak the Wheat Bix, and I just thought soggy Wheat Bix base, and then they do like a Snickers version, and I'm like, yeah, no,
probably not for me.
No. Cute idea. All right, lunch. Let's go on to lunch.
Right. You're in town?
I'm in town. I want lunch. I want something. Give me some options. I'd love a Japanese option maybe, or like something that just does it well. Like I feel like in Sydney, top tiers is like the latest thing and they do it well. It's just, your cold meats and your pastas and your sides, like plenty of little side dishes. Love that. Or fresh.
I would say my favorite, this can be lunch or dinner restaurant in Melbourne, would be Osteria Ilara.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
So the same people own a place called Tipo.
Okay.
And they're in, I think, Flinders Lane or Little Collins in the city. Just unreal.
What do I order? Tell me, what do I order?
What do you order? Well, I haven't been since pre-lockdown, so I'm tipping that your menu's probably changed. But we share plates, but everything that we had, you just were like, what have they done? Like, what is this? This is so amazing. Every mouthful I was like, oh, and the cocktails were like so fresh and clean and beautiful fit out. It's cool, but not wanky. Too sceney, like lots of the big Melb.
I feel like that there's a lot of those restaurants here that are or you get your DDs there, like I'm just like, and you know what, I've also noticed that a lot of people want that chill bar vibe, so they sort of portray that on social media, and then when I get there and I'm like,
rammed through, it's full on. No, it's very chilled out in there.
Love that.
It's amazing. For a Japanese lunch, it's out of the city, but Bounty of the Sun is a Japanese restaurant. You just go and you have the best time. You feel a bit like when you're in there, you're in Seminyak, when Seminyak was good. Yeah. Like you're overseas. There's this like really fun vibe. The playlist's amazing. They just do really fun like Japanese food. Where else would I take you for lunch? Napier Quarter.
Okay.
In Fitzroy is a tiny little, like, get your prosciutto, your little bit of bread, bit of pate, pickle. They have 3 things on the menu. Like it's really simplistic.
But sometimes I like the less, like just give me less options and I'll have one of all, or like with friends share them, or just nail it. I've been following, I mean, I'm not big on TikTok at all. Like I honestly feel like a geriatric on there, but But I follow this guy, and I don't even know his name, to be honest, but he literally works in a deli in Italy, and he like glad wraps his phone, puts it in front of the table that he works on, and he just films himself make these sandwiches. But I'm just like mesmerized. I'm like, why does no one really do that here in Well? Like, just a cute deli. But sometimes I look at them and I'm like, that's a hard Italian bread with just provolone and prosciutto. It's a bit dry. Come on.
I don't know. My dad, obviously he's Italian. He's the same. Like, how
Dry.
can we were in Italy a couple of weeks ago. Panini with prosciutto, maybe some bocconcini, €1.50. Best thing you'll ever eat in your life. You'll be screaming the house down. It's like, how can we not replicate that really well here? There's places that do it, but would you send someone there to have that particular panini? Probably not.
No. And I feel like cold meats, I mean, I swear to God, there's like Primo stickers on that stuff. Like,
also talking about, you're probably looking at a $16 panini.
100%, because it's bougie, right? And I'm like, can you just do things simple but just well? And I even know, like, when they slice the mortadella, I'm like, that's too pale. That's not from Italy. That's Devon.
Yeah.
Am I wrong or am I right? Come on.
Like, while you're saying this, I'm trying to think of where I'd go to get a really great like Italian panini, and there's nowhere I'm sending you.
Is there what about places just not in Melbourne CBD, maybe just a little bit out, or you don't branch out too much there?
I do. I tend to branch out more than I branch in, to be honest. Well,
yeah, I feel like, because I mean, with Sydney as well, like I feel like when you go out west, there's some really good gems, and now especially, like, there's more opening up out west because people just can't be asked going into town, like with the shit parking and the effort and the price. I mean, the prices, and lots of people are moving out because they just can't afford it, and there's a need and want for it. And sometimes with different multicultural ethnicities, like you get some really good, like some of my friends in Queensland will message me and they're like, oh, I saw this like banh mi place in the city. Like no, if I'm going to go for a banh mi, I've got one down the road. I've got another one in Cabramatta. They're the places that you're going to get the good stuff.
Yeah, totally. There's lots of great food out. It's just, I guess, you go to the city for that dining experience.
That dining experience for sure. Any out that you would recommend?
Yes, something I was thinking about earlier today. There's a bakery. I live in an area where it's a strong Jewish community, and so it's been really interesting getting to know their food and their culture.
I've interviewed a couple of Jews, and they're just like, our food's not like stand out-ish food. Like, it's just humble. Am I wrong?
I'm still trying to figure that out, because there seems to be, I feel like there's both. There's this Jewish community that have like an eye for food like nothing else. Like, where they go and what they eat is so premium. But then I've had dinner at people's houses where I've been like, oh my God, like, what is that? I went to a dinner party a few weeks ago, and the entree was a round piece of eggplant, just grilled, no oil or anything in sight, just a cold grilled piece of eggplant with half a boiled egg on top. Oof, it was like,
you eat it?
Yeah, I ate everything, but like, it was quite strange. But then, I don't know, there's definitely a community that have a really strong food culture. That
maybe they're more the ones that are like more connected to their like Israeli roots, that has that Middle Eastern-y kind of
exactly
palette to their
There's I suppose it is a bakery, but that doesn't sound very nice, fancy, but it's like a really kind of bougie Jewish bakery out near me called Zelda, which is absolutely worth the drive. It's vegetarian, so that's like not a draw card for me at all. And everything that they have is like something that I wouldn't necessarily order. Like they use veggies that don't really interest me, like cauliflower and broccoli, things that I'm like, would I pick broccoli or broccoli? Probably not.
Yeah.
Would I pick, no, like they're not. But every single thing that they do is like an 11. I'm like, what is this?
Must be the spices, herbs, something.
Quality of pastry, like it is extraordinary. And you go there and it doesn't matter if it's 8 a.m. or 6 p.m. They open 3 days a week. There is a queue for the entire day.
But do they have food? Because this is what pisses me off as well. Like sometimes I'll see, I think I was following a food blogger and they recommended this bakery in the inner west. And I can't remember the name now because I've just I'm just not going back there. And it was not even midday. And they were like sold out. Like we just started. I'm like, there's people around, fucking make more. What is wrong with you people? I suppose they're just like, we hit a budget and we don't care. I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure, but that really irritates me.
I've never been there when it's been sold out, but I would absolutely recommend going.
Ooh, I always follow your typical, like your Beatrix, your Loon. Is that just something that you're like, oh, that's, they're good, but there's better sort of thing?
Loon is pretty extraordinary just as a business to even look at, just for space. And I think what they do really well. Beatrix too, it's cute, it's quirky. They're delicious. Can you get better cakes? Probably. Yeah. But they're still good. But I think
there's always, and I feel like, and this is not just about them directly, but I was even chatting with someone yesterday for the podcast. We're just talking about like social media and this, like how it's this image and you paint this picture and so many times you fall in love with a particular brand, whether it's like jewellery, and then you get it and you're just like, what is the fucking fuss? Like how, I mean, I just feel like sometimes social media just puts on this portrayal and then, I don't know, it doesn't nail it when you get it.
No, it doesn't nail it when you get it. And I just think people have different standards.
And we're so accustomed, and I know that you're like in an e-com business. Do you feel like everyone just sort of, we're just so used to seeing sale and discounts that no one actually gives a shit when you go on sale, or they just expect it to be on sale all the time?
Yeah, it's funny because I've only had a website for about a year, not even. And I used to run my business from my DM folder, and every now and again I'll be like, oh, I should have a sale online, and my head automatically thinks that will really drive sales, and it actually doesn't anymore. Like the last 3 that I've had, I have the same amount of sales as I would on a normal day, pretty much.
It's very interesting. You know what though? I actually think that it's really interesting that you said that about DMs, and I definitely feel that that's where all the nurturing happens. And it's really interesting that you said that you built, the foundations of your business based sort of like in your DMs folder and stuff, because I think that that's where you build a connection with the person, not just, it makes you part of the brand, not just the jewellery. I just think that it's nice. It creates that friendship sort of thing. I mean, because even sometimes like I will feel comfortable to reach out to you and be like, hey, I love these. Do you have them in stock? You're like, yeah. And I could easily just click on the link and go have a look, but I just feel like it's nice and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's better. It just, I still love, as I said at the start, I love the interactions. And if I could have, I would have kept running the whole business from my DM folder, but it just, when the business would peak, it would just get completely out of hand. Like, I could DMs in a day. So to get through those DMs was like, by the end of it, I was like, it would take weeks, months. But yeah, I still try to keep that part of the business really open. And I guess, that's how we met. And we haven't even met.
We haven't met. Well, I know you. We're friends. We're cyber friends. Oh my God, it's so weird. It's like those online dating people that I'm like, who the fuck meet someone online?
I
fucking do. Not for dating, but
literally. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. The whole sale thing is funny. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So do you feel like a lot of your business weighs heavily still on DMs as well?
No, I'm going to say like maybe 25%.
Yeah. You just set up a page, like your jewellery page, and then start posting stuff, and then people would reach out? Or is that how it kind of started?
I just would post pictures and then people would DM me and be like, hey, I'd like to buy that, and I'd send it off. And yeah, grew. It kind of grew from there, and now it's taken a lot of the work out the website because it just kind of ticks over itself, but you don't have that sense of control the way you did with your DM folder. Like, hey Marilyn, hope you had a great weekend at the snow. Are you still thinking about those earrings? I did a that's really similar. I thought I could show you. You don't have that with your website. You lose that personal touch. But how do you not have a website in 2022?
I think it's just good to then like nurture people, like chat with them in the DM, and then just be like, look, here's the link and you could just buy it. You have a credit card, you have, like, it just takes the bulk off it. But yeah, I'm currently switching over from Shopify to WordPress, and it is but I think because I've mainly kind of gone down the recipes and blog, that kind of avenue more than the e-com, which you can still sell on WordPress. But I just feel, oh my gosh, like it's new territory. It's just it freaks me out a bit, technology and all that. But fuck, man, how do you not?
No, yeah, you have to. And yeah, it has its pros and cons, but I still think there's nothing better than having like a one-on-one cooking class with, someone or a group of men or whatever. Or, I have people come and shop here and they just have the best time. You can't beat it. You can't compare it to sitting on your phone and putting things in a cart. So,
I know. It just takes the, I suppose personability away from things, but you just need it. But all right, let's go out for dinner now. You and I want to go out for dinner. Not fancy, okay, you could give like a really nice dining experience, but then also like, hey, I'm just actually hungry and I want a really good, like nice feed, but that I could wear like jeans, heels, something cute. Where are we going?
Old Palm Sugar. I've just gone blank on the name. Old Palm Liquor. Sorry. Old Palm Liquor. Mm-hmm. So that's it's in Brunswick. I ate there a few months ago, and again, every single dish, and the menu didn't excite me. I was like, there was nothing that like grabbed you, like that was obvious, like, I don't know, pork belly or scallops or something. It's dark pancakes where you're like, yeah, yum, really obviously yum. Everything was really subtle, but every dish was so amazing. You have to go.
Yum.
Really great. And lots of these places, I guess, what I like about them, they have an Instagram presence, but it's not so like formula, like, all the big, the big restaurants, there's like this real formula to their Instagram. They don't really give a shit about that. Their Instagrams are almost a bit naff because like it's just not what it's about.
Because they don't have someone managing it,
Just, it's just a bit more authentic.
Yes. That's the word of the year, authentic.
And then very authentic place I would love to take you to is called Super Maxi. Again, it's a little bit out. It's Italian. They've been around for I think nearly 20 years. They didn't have an Instagram until about 6 months ago. So that's how like zero fucks they are. Like Giovanni.
I mean, isn't Instagram dying now anyway? I don't know, because apparently TikTok's a place to be.
Maybe behind with the times, but apparently,
well, I'm not even popular.
But Maxi, I think they've got the best pizza in Melbourne.
Stop! I need a good pizza. We went out 2 weeks ago to a pizza place that had like, generally I've been there pre-COVID, really good pizza. I went there, it was fucking shit. It was so bad. It was like, the base was good, sauce completely bland. Like, I get you use passata, but it was literally tasted like passata just out of the jar. Like, no, like a little bit of seasoning. Come on. We got a pork sausage and mushroom, I don't know, salsiccia thing. Looked like a little bit of mince on there. So I was like, I get so pissed. Like, I'm like, why?
I've been about for a week. My friends always say, why do you take it so personally? I'm like, because it's not hard. Like, it's not hard. If you have a pizza shop, make a decent pizza. Like, it's really not hard.
Yeah. And you've got Italians in the kitchen or something. I was like, could we not skimp, and just make it really simple, but wow. And they used to do that. They used to have this amazing pizza. It was a nice base. And then I can't remember, but it had like fresh mortadella on top, maybe a bit of fresh mozzarella or burrata. I can't remember. I don't think it was a burrata because that would ooze out a lot. Maybe it was fresh torn, and it was epic. And then this time Joe was like, I swear to God, my husband, he's like, fucking Pizza Hut would have hit the spot better in my living room without my monkey children freaking climbing the wall. I was like, yeah, I know. And
bad. The last pizza that I went out for, again, place with a pretty good reputation. They own other places. Crust was lovely. The quality of the prawns, amazing, like impressive. But I was putting salt and pepper on it. I'm like, what's going on?
No, what's going on?
I'm putting salt and pepper. That's all I could access. I would have put lemon and a bit of chili and a whole lot of other things. But like, really, a pizza? Like, and an expensive pizza, salt and pepper, dude.
How many prawns did you get?
I can't remember, but that wasn't a problem for me because they were really impressive prawns. Like, they were like really good looking, juicy, big prawns.
But you need chili with that. You need a bit of
prawn with tomato on bread is not a vibe.
No, it needs a bit more. Come on, give me something. Give me.
They were giving me nothing, the dear souls.
I just can't understand sometimes some places that I've been to lately where people are like, it is epic, it is amazing. I'm like, how? I think we stayed in the city, went to a place, and they had on the menu a charred cabbage, which I was like, yes, sounds amazing, with nuts and I think maybe raisins. It was soggy, it was soggy because obviously they'd pre-blanched it before they charred it, which makes sense, but at the same time, strain it properly. And so because it was soggy, the raisins had like rehydrated. So I was like eating grapes. And then the pasta was, I think, like a crab meat pasta. And it was just, I couldn't see the crab, pretty much like probably out of a tin, which I ain't hating at home, but in a restaurant where I'm paying $38 for a pasta.
Yeah, get me the real crab. Yeah. I think, yeah.
People rave they rave about it, love it, froth over it. Like,
you can. I mean, there's so many places people rave about, and I'm like, I will not eat there. And I try, and I'm like, no, I said I wouldn't eat there, and I still wouldn't eat there. But, you can go to a place and also have a bad night. Like, I've been to a restaurant in Melbourne 20 times, so excited, took an old boyfriend of mine one night. We rekindled after like 20 years, and I was like, I know exactly where we're going to go. I'm not going to say where it is. I know exactly where we're going to go. It's got the right lighting. It's got the right drinks. It's so on. And anyway, we had the best night, but the food.
Shit.
Oh my God. Like, I actually complained at the end. They were really busy. It was a public holiday. We just had a couple of like fun mussel kind of entrees and stuff that were okay. But for main, we just had we shared a steak, French fries, and a beautiful just green salad. I mean, the meat was unedible. The chips were like cold Macca's fries, and the salad was just leaves with vinegar and oil, which is fine, but the steak has to be edible and the chips have to be.
I've noticed that as well. A lot of places here will start off being something, and then they want to specialize in bistecca and a goods and become like a steakhouse. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, I kind of feel like you need charcoal, like, you know, like a really good, and I get the whole, like, it's nice, rare, but it's like, it's still new. And like, I don't know, it was like, but chewy, but like, it's chewy. I'm like, it should be buttery. So either the quality shit, or I'm like, I feel like if you're a steakhouse, you're a steakhouse, but then, you know, but then you've got steak and then you've got random other meals. And I'm like, it just, I don't know. So that kind of puts me off. I know not to get the steak when I go there, but my husband's always like, oh, we'll try the steak. I'm like, you know what's going to happen. You know, you're going to hate it.
Well, I was trying to be safe. I was like, that's a safe option. He's not very food creative as much as I am. So I was like, safe, great. Chips, salad, steak.
Was that a sign? Was it a sign?
No. It was a really nice time. It was good. But yeah, you know, the woman had said to me at the end of the night, like, how was your meal? And I said, do you really want to know? And she said, yeah. And I said, fucked. And she went, oh my God. And she said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We've had the worst night here. It's just been a disaster. We've got new chefs, we're short staffed, this and that.
It's hard. I do feel bad when you hear that, but
all off the bill. I'm like, I wasn't going to say anything. I don't want a free meal, but like, that was like next level. Like, I would have had a way better steak at a pub in a bad area.
Yeah.
No, I'm so sorry. Come back. I'm like, I'll come back. I'd come here all the time, but that was.
Have you gone back since or not?
I would. I've been 20 times or something. It's always great, but
it's a bad night, and that's what's hard, because sometimes one night can really screw up a business, which is really sad. It's hard. I mean, I think when we went out for dinner as well, they were saying like, they're even now bidding for just the people that wash the dishes, the dish hand person, like, and they're up to like, they'll even pay like $50 per hour. I was like, fuck, I'm in the wrong job. $50 an hour to just what? I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm underpaid.
Yeah, it's hectic. Every single place is screaming the same thing. They're all open. I don't know about in Sydney, but lots of them open shorter hours.
Yeah.
Public
holidays not really open. It's not worth it for them. It's sad. It's like, what's the world coming to? $10 for an iceberg lettuce. And I don't know. So what about any Asian-ish kind of restaurants or Indian? I don't know. Do you eat Indian?
I do eat Indian. I love Indian. I don't really have anywhere kind of that I'd really any Indian though, just like my local Indians.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's always a good authentic, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the city of is it Tonka? Yeah, I think it's Tonka, which is like really like it's a bougie Indian restaurant. And do I want bougie Indian?
No, just want my tandoori chicken, which is probably, you know.
Yeah, it's still a nice time. I mean, the food's lovely, but like, I don't know. I don't connect the two.
What about Asian?
Well, the Bounty of the Sun, Japanese, near me. I still think that Long Grain and Long Song do a good job after all these years.
Yeah, we had one here. No.
Nothing. Where else do I go for Asian in the city? I mean, there's all the obvious ones. There's your Lucy Lou, there's your Chin Chin, there's your Super Normal.
Yeah, I heard Chin Chin's not amazing here in Sydney.
Yeah. It's not
in Melbourne. It was amazing. It's amazing there. Yeah.
Where else would I go for Asian city? You know what I still think do a really great job? Cookie. Did you ever go to Cookie? Cookie's been around, like, I feel like it was pre-Melbourne food scene. Like, I'm talking like
when you were a kid.
Almost
Sizzler days.
Back in the disco days. Yeah, they were kind of like doing like a cool food scene before anyone. And I still think it's got a great vibe, amazing Thai food. Yeah, I still think they do a great food. And then, you know, there's all your little Vietnamese places and
good little pho. Do you like coriander or no coriander?
In Asian, yes, I do. is, yeah, it can really shift a dish.
Oh, I think your video's cut off.
One sec, my phone's ringing.
All right, sorry, we're both like getting phone calls randomly.
Hello, everyone.
Back again, back to programming. Anyway, I think we have pretty much given everyone itinerary. I'm going to ask you to probably write a list out for me so that I can put it in the show notes so that people could just, yep. I'm planning to come to Melbourne, hopefully springish, just because I was so disorganized this time of the year.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely meet. Cyber friends will meet and we'll go have a good meal together.
Yeah. Lots of good ice cream here for this hot, gorgeous weather that we have in Melbourne.
Yeah. How is your weather down there? I feel like Sydney's pretty fucking cold at the moment.
It's pretty cold, but you just do what you've got to do. You get your oil heaters, you get your hot water bottles, you get what you need. You sleep in Angora, or like, it's just wild.
I know. Thank you so much for coming on. But do you want to let everyone know where they can find you and how? I will link up your website as well and your handle. Is that what we call Instagram now? Below. So if everyone wants to buy what we're wearing or have a browse, I'll link it all up. But yeah, let everyone know where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram at Anna Rossi Jewellery, or I have a website, what is it? www.annarossijewellery.com, and Rossi spelled R-O-S-S-I.
What part of Italy are you from? North? What?
Yeah, both of my grandparents are from the north.
Where about, in like Rome or something?
No, higher up than that. They're from a little town near Treviso, kind of near Venice.
No.
Like tiny, like I'm talking, town, like a few.
Is that where you can buy the houses for like €1?
Yeah. Like they lived, I don't know, then sheds isn't the right word, stables, like they lived in, like it was, there's nothing really there. Still pretty amazing. Where are you from? What's your background?
My mum is from Venezuela and my dad's from Syria, but my husband is Italian.
Yes, of course.
So he's from Bari in Puglia. Yeah.
Oh, the best.
When they talk Italian, they always say like the Barisia like speak the Japanese in Italian. Yes. Like it just the dialect. I'm like, when I'd go, I'm like, I have no idea. Like I watch some international movies and I just put, subtitles on, but I watch it and it's because the dub just irritates me. I can kind of understand some things because obviously mum, like we spoke Spanish. So I'd understand them when he'd speak, I'm like, your words are not even butchered. Like I can understand but they're like it's a totally different freaking language here.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we go to Italy, are you going to be all right? I think I've got to get on the Bumble or something, whatever it's called, to like.
Yeah, no, it's the dialect's crazy.
Can you speak Italian or?
A bit, enough to kind of get me out of trouble or in trouble. Like
hard when you went over there. Like, could you were people okay with English, or maybe not so much the oldies, the young? I don't know.
You get both in Italy. You get lots of people speak English, obviously, like probably more than less, but you still do get the occasional Italian that just won't speak to you because you don't speak Italian. Same in Spain. I mean, you just get that sometimes.
The French are like that. They're like, we can speak, English, but we're just not going to. So
yeah. So you get the odd really hardcore one where you're like, you're in my country, do it our way. It's like, oh, I'd love to speak fluent Italian, but But most of them, I feel like most people do, which is like we're so lucky to be able to speak English and travel and have that bonus. I mean, it's be so hard to have be overseas in a country where no one could really support you with the language that you spoke.
Yeah, literally. But also, don't block me. Like
no, I've had some horrific experiences. Horrible.
Oh God. Anyway, all right. Thank you. I'm gonna stop.
Thank you
for coming on and your tour of Melbourne guide. Yeah, really appreciate it.
No problem. Speak to you soon.
Thanks.